Hi, my name is Teresa, and I wanted to share a couple tips to how to survive a quarantine. I had a friend ask me about a week ago, "How are you doing? You must be doing really well." This is a friend I've had for a long time, and she said, "You basically lived this life for about 3 years." And I thought, oh my goodness, I did. We did do this. My kids were sick, they were in the hospital, they were sick with an immune disorder, so obviously they had to be very secluded and not be around other people. So, kind of everything that we're going through now, not being able to see family, not being able to go to school, not being able to celebrate some really big moments in people's lives. I know birthdays are passing, really big moments that you look forward to, graduations, dances, college, all of these things in our world have stopped. So I thought, what were the things back then that helped me survive 3 years of this, and what followed me from that time? So just wanted to share a little bit of some of that with you. I think the first thing for me was taking back control. So much of what was going on for us was the loss of control. So you get to choose your mindset. You get to decide how you want to live your day. Some of the things are really simple. Getting up, taking a shower, putting a makeup on, doing something with your hair, trying to get out of the pajamas, or that's okay to do sometimes, but there you forget, you start to have a loss of self. So just doing those simple things can make you feel more like yourself and staying in the moment. The other thing for me at the time is I was really conscientious about cleaning everything. This is the one thing that has followed me from that time frame. I had bleach bottles in my home and at the hospital. All the touch points we continue to wash. I have kind of this weird thing with door handles and light switches anyway. So that was an easy thing for me to continue and still do that to this day. So it's another thing that's just a health thing, and those are easy things to just kind of keep up. The one thing that we did as a family during the hospitals, we tried to make it as fun as possible for the kids. We were in 3 years. The kids were different ages, so obviously it was different for each of them. But we did age appropriate things. We played board games, we slept in a tent, we baked together. Even in the hospital, we had a little toaster oven and we would make cookies for the nurses. This was 25 years ago. We didn't have Netflix back then, but we did have Nintendo. I got pretty good at Mario Kart, loved that. So just the experience for yourself and the kids can be as great as you want it to be. You can create an environment where you get to enjoy each other and make some time to have some fun and laugh. It does amazing things for your soul. I think even if you ask my children about that time in the hospital, their memories, even though it was pretty horrific, but their memories are great memories. We try to, spending time together and doing those things together solidifies you, and it makes you feel like you're working together to get to the other side of something. And I think that's an environment that we can cultivate in our families today. We surrounded ourselves with scripture on the walls. We prayed throughout the day for health and an uncertain world. But something you can do now would be to maybe draw inspirational quotes with your kids, or frame some inspirational signs, or even write on your mirror. This is something I still do today, write messages on my mirror, things that I want to remember or just stay focused on. Again, really simple. You can change it every day, but it's just a reminder of that day, of how you want to manage your day. We would go outside whenever possible. We talked about our life after the quarantine and planned for fun things that we would do. It was always family first. Some items were very simple for my kids. If they did something good, they had a jar that we would add money to, and then they would get a chance to spend when we were out of quarantine. Obviously, my children were little at the time, so I remember Garrett had a truck fund. He wanted a little Tykes truck, but it was great when he was well and we were able to take his truck fund and get him his purchase, and that was a fun day to celebrate. So look for those moments, look for that time, write some things down, give yourself a bucket list of things you're going to do when this is over. It gives us all something to look forward to. So So number 6 would be that this is more of the emotional side of it, but we get to decide the how. How are you going to get to the other side of the difficulty? When so much is in chaos, you have tremendous amount of fear, you start to prioritize. If you have a partner, a spouse, take the time to decide what each of you need in that moment and decide how you're going to grow and learn together to get there, to get to the other side of it. Definitely not saying it's easy. Definitely recognize the difficult moments, but also understand that patience is essential, and remind yourself this too will pass. Number 7 would be in the moment. You can't experience the joyful moments if you're not aware of them. Breathe them in like sunshine. Write them down in a journal so that you can recall them with clarity. These are the things that you should go to when you're struggling, when you're fearful, when you're hurting. It's a great place to do a mind shift, and it'll help you remember number 6, which is this too shall pass. Number 8 would be, maybe if you don't do a journal or you haven't ever done that, maybe it would be a good time to start that. I started journaling when I was about 11, and it certainly has been a gift for me to go back, read my thoughts. I think self-reflection is the first step in growing as a person. Knowing who you are is definitely a game changer. I've shared my darkest moments with my journal. I've certainly shared my greatest joys. This reminds me that life has a cycle. I have experienced the absolute pain of grief. I definitely know how hard it is that sometimes you have to fight so desperately to get your life back. But the big picture is, I realize it is our choice. We can't control the situations that we experience, but we can control how we manage them. Number 9, recognize your strengths. I'm definitely a doer. My husband was my support team, but he also was my balancer. I tend to be more serious, and he was the fun. Sometimes I would not always appreciate his humor, but looking back, I certainly loved the spirit that he brought to our daily lives. So remember to know your strengths and understand your weaknesses, find your balance. For me, number 10 is my foundation of who I am is my relationship with God. I make time to start every day with prayer. I journal every morning. I set my mind on how my day will be handled. I say handled because sometimes life can be very difficult, extremely difficult. But God will never call us to do something without giving us everything that we need in order to finish the task. It may not be all that we think we need, but it will be all that we need. This is not to say the job will ever feel easy, but God promises through his strength, he will strengthen the weary. I not only believe this, I have experienced this in my life. So it's easy for me to have that feeling deep in my heart. I know that God will get me through every moment. Lastly, have grace. Have grace for yourself. Have grace for your partner, grace for your family. Recognize when you need a timeout, and verbalize that. It's easy to be upset, have fear, carry all these emotions, and sometimes they don't always come out in a way that's productive. So if you need some time to get through whatever it is, take the time. Don't let it take a week, but definitely take some time, the time that you need to figure out how to get back on track and find your balance. If you're sad, if you're mad, if you're whatever, just deal with the issue and move on. During a crisis, the world gets really small. All of the unimportant stuff falls away. I guess I've been feeling that this time around. Life was always on super hyper speed. I definitely prayed for life to slow down, not necessarily this slow, but I would say this second go around has helped me to focus on the changes I want to make. I have a business that I'm worried about. I have children that I'm worried about. I have a granddaughter that I haven't had a chance to spend much time with. So but I am accepting this challenge as an opportunity to see life in a different angle. So I'm trying to hold on to that, make significant changes, and fight for the life that I want. And I hope that you can do the same. I hope some of what I shared makes a difference in your life today. I hope it is what you needed to hear to live your best today. I think I needed a little reminder as well. So thank you so much for watching. I hope this blesses you, and stay safe.